today I'm going to show you how to create the art project for our 65-story treehouse book. This art project has to do with the timeline and the history of the world. So in our book, Terry and Andy actually go back in time in order to try and get a permit for their treehouse. However, instead of going back 6 years, they accidentally wind up going back 650 million years ago. So here we can see we've made Terry and Andy up at the top with their time machine. I set the dial for 6.5 years. So it's a good idea to have students create the timeline up at the top of where are they going, like what are they seeing, and then at the bottom underneath we can put stickers or drawings and actual information. So Andy and Terry go back 650 million years ago to the prehistoric pond scum in chapter 5. Now in chapter 5, they wind up finding kind of prehistoric versions of themselves as the earliest life forms. So then students can research what were the actual earliest life forms. We have cells, and it's talking about our single cells, and we owe the existence of our cells. After this, as Terry and Andy try to kind of fix things, we see their 65-story prehistoric pond scum puddle sun shelter. So the book kind of talks about how they wind up fixing things. As we move on, Terry and Andy try to get home, but instead of going home, they go back 65 million years ago to see the dinosaurs. So we can see the different dinosaurs they find, and we also see they run into some of the earliest known mammals, and one of our ancestors, the Plesiotopus tricuspidens, which will wind up becoming, here we have it, wind up becoming monkeys, apes, and humans. So again, we can mention the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, the timeline up here, but then we can talk about the actual facts. We can place the stickers or drawings. So again, we can keep moving on to things like the Stone Age, ancient Egypt, Rome, Alexander. These are all things that are mentioned in the book, places that Terry and Andy go. They go and teach. They teach how to make cave paintings, so students can research what the earliest cave paintings were during the Stone Age at 65,000 BC. Of course, Terry and Andy also accidentally take off the Sphinx's nose so they can research Egypt, Rome, Alexander the Great. So really encourage students to find out what the facts are about these events that Terry and Andy are influencing. In order to extend this art project, once they have finished some of the timeline in the book, they can go ahead and move on to more modern timelines, the BC, AD, and they can choose some of the things that they find interesting within these times, like the steam engine inventions or like the Industrial Revolution, things that have occurred, World War II, and then we can also focus on something that has happened more recently, like COVID. And after we've done more present time, we can actually move on to the future. In the book, Terry and Andy accidentally wind up going to the future as well. So we can talk about what is the future going to look like? Are there things that could influence the future, like global warming, or are we going to extend into space? And students can kind of draw and write what they think might happen. This is also influenced by a book that is mentioned within the 65-story treehouse, that they invent the time machine because of the time machine by H.G. Wells. So once students have finished, they will have a completed timeline, including the prehistoric past with Andy and Terry, our present and current events, and then the possible future that they think could happen, creating this long timeline of events that will be very interesting for us to see. Thank you.